What's the difference between a white baby and a black baby? About 10 minutes in a microwave. What's up, weirdos? Scott here. Thanks again for visiting the channel. As always, I appreciate it. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the content. And if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's LETS_DOITUP. Let's_do it up on Instagram. And if you want to send a knife or knives into the channel for review, just send me an email. letsdiu79@gmail.com. And just send me an email. I'll send you my shipping address. If you send me the knife or knives, I will spend a week or two with them, review them, and send them back to you ASAP. And today I'm doing a quick review on this absolutely amazing knife, the Arkona Buran. I'm not sure exactly how to say it, but it's a Buran, the Arkona Buran. Now, this is a knife that I saw on Tri-State's channel. I really liked it. I like the aesthetics of it. The action seemed really fantastic on it. And he gave it a glowing review, saying basically compared it to the quality and the quality of materials and the quality of fit and finish, the production quality, all that was basically up to par with some of the Shirogoros that he's handled. And they are made in the same area, just by a different maker. Actually, I have the certificate of authenticity here to show you. I probably should have brought that out with me. So the knife is the Arkona Buran, the KNP edition. So if you guys know of Knife Nuts podcast, which I have a hard time saying, that's fantastic. If not, go ahead and follow them on Instagram and listen to the podcast. It's very informative knowledge. They're very knowledgeable, funny guys. It's a lot of fun to listen to. We'll go over the specs with this with the review. The blade steel obviously is going to be M390. The handle material is TC4 titanium plus carbon fiber. They do have shredded carbon fiber on there. Knife number 39 out of 50. So this is a very small production run, which was in January of 2024. The design is Ivan D. Braganets. I'm sure I'm probably not saying that correctly, but that was the designer of this knife. So there's Arkona Knives email if you want to email them, and Arkona Knives on Instagram if you want to take a look for them as well. But I've never handled a Shirogorov before, but I've watched just endless videos about them, and their quality production, all that stuff is through the roof. I know that, and I would say that if that's the case, then this knife is probably, as everybody is saying, on par with some Shirogorov knives. Very good fit and finish. The aesthetics are fantastic, but we'll go over all that in just a few minutes here. First, I will line this guy up so that we can get a measurement of it. See if I can do it with the pig still here. Okay. My daughter really likes the pig, so I figured I'd show them off. So compared to the Rat Model 1, the Buran is going to be just a little bit longer, I believe. Yeah, just a little bit longer. And compared to the Rat Model 2, the Buran is going to obviously be quite a bit longer than the Rat Model 1. Next up, we've got the Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 G2, Doug Ritter's version of the Benchmade Griptilian. Full-size knife for sure. Obviously going to be just a little bit shorter than the Buran. And I'm not sure I'm going to say that yet. I might just call it the Buran, just for fun. And obviously the 80-20.5 is going to be just a little bit shorter than the Arkona. And last but not least, we have the SPYDERCO knives. SPYDERCO Paramilitary 2. God, I suck. Is going to be just a little bit shorter than this guy, and the Para 3 obviously is going to be quite a bit shorter than the Buran. Care profile compared to the Para 3. The Buran obviously is going to be quite a bit thicker. It's kind of hard to really tell, just because when you line up the scales perfectly like this, you can see that it does look like they're almost the same width, but as the scales kind of flare out a little bit this way, you can see if I compare them right here, that it will definitely be wider on the Buran for sure. As far as the height is concerned, I don't think there's going to be any serious issues here. Yeah, this guy is nowhere near as tall as the Para 3, as you can see. So, pretty good in the pocket. I like this knife a lot. I've been carrying it quite a bit. Let's get a quick weight on it, just for shits and gigs, so I don't forget. Okay, I don't really remember the weight on this knife, but I feel like it's sub 5 ounces maybe. Why isn't this turning on? There we go. Okay. Let's zero it out. Fantastic. Yep, 4 ounces. Let's try again on the other side just for fun. Yeah, it's 4 ounces right on the dot, which is fantastic for me. I consider that to be a very, very lightweight knife. Not necessarily ultra light, but definitely light for sure. See if my calipers are zeroed out. And we'll just go here. So what do we have? Yeah, it looks like 140 thousandths on the nose, and that looks fantastic. Not exactly super duper slicey, not exactly a laser beam, but definitely a thin blade, not thin blade stock, but it's thin for me. I have a lot of really, I have a lot of knives with really thick blade stocks, so 140 thousandths is not that thick for me, honestly. Okay. Let's see here. So I've already talked about the M390. We are looking at a blade here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd say 3.75 inches with a 3.5 inch cutting edge. You've got a flat grind all the way out towards the tip, and then you've got a flat that carries out, I'd say, to about 70% the length of the blade. You do have a little bit of, I don't know if we call this a fuller, but you've got a little bit of a groove here on both sides of the knife. It does say Arkona on the inside of the knife there, or on the inside of that groove. And that's just that their maker's mark, that AK right there with the little tower on top of it. Let me see if I can get you a close-up of that just so you can see it a little better. Might as well give you a close-up of the whole knife while I'm at it, right? Got a few grease spots there. Sorry. Yeah, look at the carbon fiber on this thing. It's absolutely gorgeous. I really, really like it a lot. I like it a lot. A little bit of jimping on the top of the blade, and then you've just got a standard grind, no swedge or anything like that. So on the opposite side, you've got that 39 out of 50 and KNP edition typed in there on the groove on the other side. Now you can use this as a reverse flick position, but the other side here you can use as a thumb flick position, but it's pretty awkward. I would say if you want to be able to thumb flick this knife, it would be good to practice with it for quite some time, but I don't know why you would want to thumb flick it that badly that you would spend that much time practicing to learn how to do it properly where it doesn't feel awkward. Especially when there's so many other deployment options with this knife. But I got sidetracked there, sorry guys. So overall, this guy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5 inches, maybe slightly over 8.5 inches overall. And obviously the handle itself is just going to be, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, a little over 4.75 inches. So measurements are pretty good, the weight's pretty good. You can see that this guy is titanium frame lock on the other side here, but I believe it's a GTC version. I can't remember exactly what they call it. And I'm not going to try to remember because I won't. But it's kind of just like an area of the titanium here that's cut out, almost like a lock bar, but it's just cut inside of the titanium. There's no part of the entire scale here that's been separated. So you can see that the titanium pocket clip lays on top of that. You've got a purple anodized milled titanium pocket clip there, which is reversible. So that's as good for lefties or righties, which is fantastic. You can see kind of like a stonewashed titanium here with a purple anodized pivot collar, which you don't have on the other side, but you do have just a captured pivot cap. And then some more milling on the titanium on the other side. Everything over here is a T8, and as you can see, the pocket clip screw is internal, which that's not a problem for me. I don't see that as a drawback or whatever you want to call it for the knife. T8's on the other side as well, along with a titanium filler tab for that slot for the pocket clip. And then you've got the shredded carbon fiber scale here, which looks very, very nice. There is quite a bit of internal milling on this guy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, there is quite a bit of internal milling on both the titanium and the carbon fiber. Very minimal hardware on this knife. You've just got the one body screw here, and then you've got a pocket clip screw on the other side. I'm sorry, the pocket clip screw is not internal, it's on the other side. So that just goes straight across and screws into the pocket clip. So you just have one body screw on each side, a pocket clip, and a pivot screw, just 3 screws on each side. So that's nice. I don't mind that at all. I still consider that to be minimal hardware. A little bit of jimping down here on the butt of the knife, a little bit of jimping here on the area where you can choke up, and there is a nice little cutting, sharpening choil here cut into the blade. A nice thin edge on this guy, very, very thin at the edge. Nice sticky edge, very, very slicey. This thing goes through paper like an absolute dream. I'm not going to show you that right now just because cutting under a camera is problematic for me, so I'm not even going to keep trying. As you can see here, we have kind of a nested liner lock sort of deal going on, but it's just the titanium from the scale coming across, and then there is a piece of stainless steel screwed onto there to act as the lock bar insert and over travel stop. Not that you really need it, because you wouldn't be able to push it any further over away from the lock bar as you would need to in order for that to cause any serious damage. Now, as you can see, this is dedicated as a front flipper knife. That is the only real deployment option intentionally put on the knife, I think. But obviously, like I said, you can use these grooves to reverse flick it, and you can also use it to thumb flick it, but you just have to be really careful because you really have to catch it right, and you have to make sure your finger's not on that lock bar and you're not gripping it too tight, and then you'll be able to flick it out with the thumb. But it is something you definitely will have to practice if you want to use this in the thumb flick aperture manner apparatus form, I guess. So the front flipper, in my opinion, though, is absolutely perfectly done for my hand. The front flipper's tough. Front flippers, everybody's going to have different size hands, different size length tendons, different length ligaments, different length bones. Just the way their fingers and hand squeeze and contract are going to be different for everybody. So getting a front flipper that's going to be, widely well received by everybody is very, very tough to do. But in my opinion, this is the closest thing I've seen so far. It's just the way they did a little horn, maybe less than 1/4 of an inch coming up off the blade here, that sticks up and allows you to, deploy this thing with your thumb on the side. You can deploy this thing with kind of like a pushing motion with your thumb. It's pretty easy to do it that way as well. You can come across with your finger and do it that way. That's pretty easy. And I can also even do the reach around, which I love the reach around. You guys know that I love the reach around. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do with this knife, but as long as you keep your finger off the lock bar, it's not a serious problem. I'm just getting used to that one because I just kind of started learning how to do it. So as you can see, I'm still struggling with that one just a little bit here, but we'll get there eventually. That was a little bit better. But kind of like, in my opinion, the star of the show with this guy is the action. You can hear, let me give you the acoustics on this guy. That's a thumb flick. That's a reverse flick. That's the front flipper again. Yeah, I really love the action on this knife. I love the acoustics, rather. But the star of the show, as I said, is definitely going to be the action. As you can see, whips out with any deployment method that you try. But once you get it to the point where you're going to disengage the lock, there's no lock stick whatsoever, first of all. But you can see here that when I push the lock bar to the side, if I take it, any forward momentum whatsoever will cause the blade to fall. And it's going to hit my thumbnail, which I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me. Sorry if I was keeping the knife too low, guys. So the blade's going to fall, hit your thumbnail, and then as you can see, it's already trying to fall back into the handle, and I'm barely moving the goddamn thing. So as I roll it to the top, it's just going to fall back in. I mean, this is the loosest action, the smoothest action I've ever experienced in a knife. This is absolutely phenomenal action, in my opinion. So when I originally got this, I knew it was smooth, I knew it was well built, but I still felt like the blade was loose. So I'm going to show you. It's all the way locked out. It's locking up at about, not very much, 25, 30%, which that's fine for as thin as this lock bar is. You've got plenty of surface contact. I have tried this thing with the spine whack, which I did hit on a block of wood a few times. It did not fail. But as early as this was locking up, I don't feel like this is super early, but it's early enough to start making me nervous. But as I said, there's no lock stick at all. You move this to the side, and then this is just going to fall straight down. I'm not sure if I was talking about something else before and I got sidetracked, but so the action on this thing is the smoothest I have ever experienced. But going left and right, this thing is completely solid. Up and down, completely solid. It's got a vault lockup. I can't make this blade move or wiggle in the least little bit. But when you disengage the lock bar, it kind of falls like it's almost like an axis lock. And then as you move the handle up, it just kind of just easily, gently, hydraulically falls back into that handle. Definitely guillotine shut. You will cut yourself if you're not careful when you're disengaging this knife, for sure. So be careful. These are not necessarily a knife that is easy to get. You can get these when they release more, when they do normal runs, but this particular version with the titanium anodized purple backspacer, the purple anodized pocket clip, and the carbon fiber scale, those are the KNP editions. Those have all been sold. There will be no more of these exact variants made. But this is a knife that gets released from time to time. It was about $450, which in my opinion, I kind of posted a short about this a little while ago. And I said it's kind of, sheer Goroff quality and performance at a XM18 price. So I kind of feel like that's the truth. This isn't exactly a hard use knife. This doesn't look like something that you would want to try to go through, digging up fence posts and shit with. But it definitely is the same quality and attention to detail that I've seen on Hinderer knives. So this is a quality product. I've never handled a sheer Goroff, but if Shearer Goroffs are comparable to this or better, then I would agree that they're worth, $800 or $900 per knife, which is normally around what they sell for on average. What else have I missed anything? Is there anything I haven't told you guys? There is a stop pin, an internal stop pin, which obviously the sharpening choil will run into when it's stopping. I don't see any chipping or anything like that, or any problems. As snappy as this knife is, that does surprise me. But yeah, this thing is, the action on this thing is absolutely fantastic. It's easy for me to use, especially with the front flipper, because you guys know I'm not great with front flippers, or even saying it apparently. But yeah, the action, the acoustics, the aesthetics, everything about this knife I think is top tier, and I absolutely love it. These, like I said, they're up periodically. They're going to be around $400 to $450 if you can find one. You probably can find one on the secondary market. Maybe this one, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I'm very, very happy to have this knife in my life. It's a really good one. I love it a lot. A buddy of mine the other day asked me if I kiss my knives, and I'm going to be honest. I don't kiss my knives. I will periodically tell them good night before I go to bed. Before I close the case, and sometimes when I'm holding on to one knife for a while and I haven't touched other knives in a while, I feel like they kind of feel like they're being left out, and I do feel bad for them. So yeah, I'm a little bit crazy, but I don't kiss my knives. I don't go quite that far. But anyway, I was thinking, I'd like for you guys to just start asking me more personal questions in my comments if you guys want to get to know me. I'd like to do like an AMA sometime, or any, some kind of a video like that, just to get to know you guys a little better. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. You guys know what to do already. I don't necessarily need to say that, but I did anyway. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay up, weirdos. Take it easy.